Welcome back to Educator.com's English Grammar course. This lesson is about helping verbs. Let's get started. All right, let's begin with a quick overview. We're going to ask, what is a helping verb? We're going to find out what they are, what they do, and how to use them. We'll look at the two kinds of helping verbs. They're the kind that change form according to tense, and there are a special kind of helping verb called modals that do not change. Then we're going to look at how to use helping verbs, and we're going to focus on what modals mean and how they affect the intent of your sentence. All right, what is a helping verb? Helping verbs can indicate the tense of the base verb. Only two tenses in English, the simple past and the simple present, don't require helping verbs. Everything else uses a helping verb of some kind, so they're quite important in English. Helping verbs have very specific meanings, so it's important to use the right one and to know what it means. There are two kinds of helping verbs, the kind that change according to tense, and the modals, which do not change and always have the same form. All right, we're going to start with the ones that change according to tense. Forms of the verbs to have, to do, and to be help base verbs to form different tenses and change according to those tenses. So, for example, I have waited for you all day. Have is our helping verb, and it's used with the verb waited to form the present perfect tense. I have waited. As of now, the waiting has occurred. She had been waiting for hours. Past perfect progressive. Had been is our helping verb, and waiting is our base verb. Bob is coming to the party. Present progressive. The helping verb is, and the main verb coming. They said they were coming to visit. Past progressive, helping verb were, main verb coming. So as you can see, have becomes had, is becomes were, according to number and tense. Now modals are a little bit different. Modals are also used to indicate tenses and other information that we'll get to in a moment, but they do not change form. They always look the same. Modals include can, could, may, might, must, ought, need, should, shall, will, and would. So, I might go home soon. Present tense, she might have known. Present perfect tense, I was here. You ought to leave. Students ought to work hard. You'll notice that ought does not change form, nor does might, because they're modal. Regardless of tense, might is always might and ought is always ought. Now here's how to use helping verbs. In English, only certain verb forms can follow a helping verb, and some helping verbs must work in specific combinations. This is a little bit of an idiom thing. The more you read and listen in English, the more natural it will become. But here are the rules. You use the base form after modal helping verbs. I must talk to you right away. You use the base form after forms of do. Judges do not make laws. There's our base form. They interpret them. And you use the present participle form after forms of be. So I had been expecting her reply. That ing makes it the present participle form. You use the past participle form after forms of have. I had given. It's an irregular form, but given is the past participle of the verb to give. Be should be preceded by a modal unless it is used as an imperative. So, if you're using be as be and not as was or is or something of that kind, it has to have a modal before it. So, this could be interesting. You don't say this be interesting unless you're a pirate. You say this could be interesting. You put the modal could in front of it. However, in an imperative, be kind to your mother, be is simply an imperative verb and you don't need a modal because you're giving a command. Been, however, has to be preceded by have, has, or had. I had been expecting her reply. And once again, because you have been, whatever comes after it, the main verb has to be in present participle form with the ing expecting. All right, let's look at exactly what modals mean. There's a whole bunch of them and they convey specific information. If you see someone using will, would, or could, they're probably referring to intention or obligation. We shall do our best. That's indicating our intention to do our best. I would like to come along. I intend to come along. Now, if you see can or could, you're talking about ability, the actual capability to do something. I can sing well. I have the capacity to sing. We could help you move. We are capable of helping you move. If you say may or might, or some uses of can or could, you're talking about permission. May I join in? Do I have your permission to join in? I could have visited at will. I had permission. I have the right to visit. You can also see may or might used for possibility. I may join you later. It could mean I have permission to join you later. It also means it's possible. I could show up. It might rain. It's possible that rain will fall out of the sky. Now, when you see should, there are a couple of possible meanings. The first is recommendation or obligation. You should join us. It's a good idea. I recommend that you join us. You should get more sleep. As your doctor, I recommend that. Should can also mean that you're expressing an expectation. The weather should be warmer tomorrow. I expect that it'll be warmer. All right, now we come to must, have to, ought to, and need to. They express necessity. They say that something is necessary. It has to happen. You must join us. It's vitally important that you do so. We have to win. It's essential. All right, let's do a few examples to use helping verbs in context. See if you can figure out which helping verb goes into each blank based on the context of the sentence. Helen said we blank attend the meeting if we want. We blank do our best to make you comfortable during your stay. I blank get to the airport on time for my flight. Take a good look. Pause the video or go back to those charts if you need to. And here we are. Helen said we could attend the meeting if we want. Your clue here was if we want. Someone has permission, they have the ability to go, so you want could. We will do our best to make you comfortable during your stay. Again, if you're promising to do your best, you're expressing intention, so will is the appropriate helping verb. I must get to the airport on time for my flight. Well, if you're trying to get there on time for a flight, it's an absolute necessity, so must is the appropriate helping verb. You could also use have to or need to. All right, take a look at these. I blank take in a show this weekend if I have time. With your high cholesterol, you blank exercise more. I have studied hard, so I blank pass this test easily. Or blank, I be excused. Take a good look. Pause if you need to. I might take in a show this weekend if I have time. Your clue here was the phrase, if I have time. You're expressing a possibility. It could happen, so I might or I may take in a show this weekend. With your high cholesterol, you should exercise more. Your clue here was with your high cholesterol and exercise more. This is somebody making a recommendation. They're giving you advice about your health, so you probably need to use should. I have studied hard, so I should pass this test easily. Your clue here is I have studied hard and pass this test. This is someone making a prediction based on past evidence. I've studied, so I expect to pass the test. So should. It should rain tomorrow. I should pass this test. And finally, may I be excused? Your clue here was that someone is asking permission, so you need to use either may or can, and may is considered more polite. And that's all for this lesson. Thank you for watching. Educator.com.